CEO 2015 is gonna kick off the Summer of Smash. It's pretty crazy, considering the what the meta was and how everybody was doing last year at CEO 2014 and last year's Summer of Smash. We don't have as many events as there were last year. Last year we had the MLG qualifier and it kicked off at Skitar 3. This year it's probably not as exciting in terms of the narratives going into the summer, other than the three-peat for Mango at Evo 2015 and the question of whether or not Armada is going to win his first Super National. I really believe last year CEO 2014 didn't really have the number of entries or the total star power of like the SSBM ranked top 50 to really be considered a super major. But I really think this is worth. If you win this, it's worthy of something. Maybe not an Evo. Maybe not an Evo per se, but I think it's up there. It has 450 entrants. I think that's in the top 10. At this tournament, we have 5 of the big 6. Pretty much everybody but PPMD. Mango was recently confirmed. And then we have a bunch of second-tier players, too. Westballs, Axe, I believe, raised enough money. The Florida people, Plup, Colwell, SFAD, S2J. So there's a lot of really good players, and I'm excited to watch. It's going to be interesting because with everybody's eyes on Evo, there's a lot of resources that kind of go into like how much are you willing to invest if you're one of the big 5 in terms of like the information you want to reveal. And I really do believe people hide information for the bigger tournaments. So we saw that with Armada at Paragon, where Armada went Peach and viewed it as kind of a lab experiment to see if he could beat Hungrybox as Peach. Failed miserably and concluded, I'm going to go Fox from now on. I really think that Armada is going to, in the same vein, is going to hide information from Mango in terms of counterpicking strategy. Armada may even only play one character, hoping that Mango, just like at press start, forgets how to play against the others. So Mango clearly dominated Armada's Fox as Falco, but didn't have the right tools and the mindset to really beat Armada's Peach at that tournament. People can John for Mango for all they want, but I think that was a wise strategic decision to switch at the last minute at press start before Mango can adapt. I also really hope that Mewtwo King begins to experiment as well. I think Sheik and Marth are both capable of being Puff, and I'd like to see that just as an experiment. Maybe if it gets dominated, then he can move on from there and say like, okay, like this clearly won't work. I don't have the right tools or the mindset or the patience or the attrition to do it. But at the very least, the Fox and Puff have not worked for over a year now, for almost a year now. I think he needs to move on and try something else. That Fox has been getting obliterated, as seen with at press start and Paragon the last 3 times he played. Granted, Mewtwo King hasn't really played against top level competition in the 6 months, although he played Plop a few times. So it's going to be interesting among the top 5. Can Mewtwo King bring it back? It seems like he's been practicing a lot against Tai. Mango's been practicing a lot. Leffen's been practicing a lot. Hungrybox has finished school, so he has his full focus on being the best he can right now. And Armada's probably practicing too, hiding information. There's a bunch of wildcards too. Westballs has beaten Hungrybox. I think he has potential to beat Mewtwo King. Has beaten Mango recently. So I believe he has a huge upset potential to get top 3 potentially at this tournament. Although I don't think he may even be able to beat Leffen. Although Leffen has like obliterated him the last like 2 times they played. So it's an interesting question mark. Although Leffen and actually, I lied. Leffen and Westballs did have a close set at MLG, but Leffen does have good command of how to deal with Westballs' strength, and that's with the shield pressure and the skirmishes. Leffen knows like the proper counters and can slow West down. So I think that will be a really interesting set. SFAT, MACD, S2J from the West Coast are all coming in. SFAT has never really done well on the East Coast, so maybe he can do something that would I would hope that he could pick it up. Melee Omni sponsors him, so I have some stake in him. So I hope he does well. I think, and then Hugs is going to be there too. Hugs was solid last year. I really think that at this tournament, though, Florida is going to shine. So Wizrobe, Colbull, Blade Jello, Gatsu, Plup, if I haven't mentioned him. Hungry Bucks, I think they're all going to do well. I think they're going to do slightly better than their normal averages, given that it's home court, and home court actually makes a difference. Haven't done the full Tafo stats on it, but I believe that home court and not having to travel or worry about flights or being in a different time zone does matter a lot. And being used to the weather conditions and all that actually plays a minor role. So I think they're going to do well. If you're not too familiar with the area, Drug Fox, Twitch, Mike Money are all three players that are really highly slept on. I really recommend that you keep track of them because I think they're all really good players that I think will do well in this tournament as well. Maybe not top 8 well, but I think they're pretty good. And I think they're primed and ready to take some names. Twitch has taken a bunch of names. He's beaten Colbull, and I believe he's beaten some other people, and so he's pretty good. I would not want to play him. We got some people in the Midwest, Dark Rain, Bait, Voodoo Jin, a bunch of these Midwest Luigis, and everybody loves Dark Rain. There's actually a lot of Luigis in this tournament, so I have to practice. And that's a completely different side note. Fruit Loop's going to be there, another good Midwest player. And we got a bunch of old school players, so Chillin' Dude, Asin and Ken are going to be there, so that's like the first tournament in a really long time that they're both going to be entering. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that they play. That'd be really cool. I'd say there's a solid 30 to 40, maybe even 50 decent players that could feasibly get in the top 32. So there's going to be a lot of close matches and a lot of hype sets that we've probably never seen before. I forgot DJ Nintendo and the Moon are also going to be there. Daryl, other Florida players, Gatsu, Rock Croc. Oh, and Javi is going to be there. I totally forgot about Javi. I'm not sure if that is the Javi from Mexico, but I'm going to keep my eyes on him. And so, very exciting tournament. If I were to pick a top 8, I'd probably go with this in this order: Armada, Mango, Hungry Box, Leffen, West Bulls and Mewtwo King, and Plup and Colbull would be my top 8. Very favoring the Florida, the people from the South, and are local to the region to do really well. But there are a bunch of people that can get top 8, and it ultimately depends on bracket. But overall, catch the action. I believe it starts June 26th and ends on June 28th. A lot of high-level melee, and it's a nice way to kick off the Summer Smash.